Okay, what is going on, y'all? I swear we are really in fucking Mercury retrograde. I did this whole video and my mic was like disconnected. That's so funny because Mercury is opposing Uranus and Uranus can disconnect. I don't know. It's just, you know how shit shows up. So I did want to talk the astrology. I actually wanted to do this video earlier. So this is going to be the astrology horoscope for tomorrow, but I'm going to touch on the past day, which is today. But it's kind of late at night when you're seeing this, or for some of you guys, it's already the next day. But I got really busy, so I couldn't really do it as earlier as I would liked. But the reason why I wanted to touch on it is because we did just have a lot happen today. So this will be from the 18th to the 19th. So as of today, the 18th, like there was a lot that happened. And so I'm just going to touch on it really quick. I do feel like these next couple of days is more so of not trying to force things too hard, because we do have Mars squaring Jupiter, which is kind of brings this energy of frustration of wanting to really go after opportunities or attack opportunities. But it's like by forcing and trying too hard, it will sometimes backfire. So whether that be in regards to, you know, the things in your life, or whether that be relationships, I know this channel is a lot about relationships. Try not to push too hard or try not to force something too hard, because we do have the sun squaring Saturn as well that just happened. So the sun squares Saturn, so you have to think about it. The sun wants to create and it's going to square Saturn. So Saturn is kind of like, Saturn rules achievement. So Saturn is kind of bringing a reality check. So the sun squaring Saturn is like, kind of brings up a reality check. It's this energy of like, damn, I really want to create this and this is what I really want to do. And what the sun being a Libra does with relationships and creating balance in your life. And it's like, I really want to figure this out with my relationships, but it's going to square Saturn. So it brings up this energy of like, okay, in order for me to do this, this needs to happen, this needs to happen, this needs to happen, this needs to happen. So that way I can be able to achieve what it is that I want to create. So I always look at it as like a reality check in a weird way, because it'll show you like where, you know, fundamentally, you know, you aren't doing things, or where fundamentally things need to change. And so it kind of brings up this realistic like reality check of like, okay, well, fuck, well, this needs to happen and this needs to happen and this needs to happen. And also today we have Venus opposed Neptune, and Venus is in its fall position in Virgo, and it's going to oppose Neptune. Neptune is in its home sign of Pisces, and Venus would rather be in with Neptune in Pisces, because Venus is exalted in Pisces. It likes to be there in Pisces, but it's in its fall position in Virgo. So it is, but this Venus opposed Neptune, it is kind of bringing this energy of with already the sun squaring Saturn, of already bringing up a reality check, and Mars squaring Jupiter, already bringing up not trying to force things too hard. It's like this really like this time to really reflect and think about idealistically, because when Venus opposes Neptune, it does bring in like kind of like that, I'm not gonna say fantasy, but it brings in like that really good energy of like how things could be or how things look. So it's always important when Venus opposes Neptune to not get lost in the fantasy, but more so of idealistically look at it and where it could go. It's kind of like the potential that you see. So, and it's opposing each other, so it brings like this challenging aspect. So it's like we're gonna be feeling like where it is, or what it could be like, or how it feels, but it's also gonna be bringing a reality check. And it's also going to be bringing this energy of like us trying probably too hard to try to force things because we see it. But Mars squared Jupiter is telling us to not push too hard, not to try to force something. And this is like, I wanted to stand up and do this video, but I was like, why am I trying so hard? Like, this is like Mars squared Jupiter shit. Like, you know, like, let me just like sit down and just relax and do the video. And then not only that, another thing is the moon just came into Sagittarius. So again, it is bringing in this an encouraging energy, because the moon in Sagittarius brings this encouraging emotional energy to be able to create what it is that we want idealistically. But we have to remember that the moon's going to be with the south node. And so when it comes into the south node, we're going to feel that encouragement, but we need to look toward the north node in Gemini and be able to look at both sides, be able to be open to both sides, be able to be open to all the information, be able to look at all the information, and then using that encouraging energy to be able to take action on a realistic approach, and not just blindly go into something that's that feels encouragingly to do. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. It's a lot in the astrology. Just today, there's a lot. And then coming into tomorrow, this is what I'm talking about. It's more so being open to receive, because we are going to have Venus trine Jupiter. And so Venus trining Jupiter is bringing in, I would say, opportunities, and sometimes with Jupiter being in Capricorn, it's not always, because it's in the house of Saturn. It's being restricted. It's in its fall position. So the opportunities, there's not a lot of opportunities. So when they come in, it kind of feels like either one, we're really grateful for them. Two, they kind of show up and it kind of feels like, fuck, like is there something else? That's what the way I kind of look at it when Venus is going to, you know, with Jupiter and Venus, you know, or Jupiter being in Capricorn. And so Venus trining Jupiter is bringing in this generous, you know, generous energy for opportunities to happen, to be able to make opportunities happen, but not to, with Mars square Jupiter, not to push too hard or not to, you know, try so hard because it could backfire. And then this is the last monkey wrench I'm gonna throw at you, and this is pretty much like a monkey wrench. Mercury is gonna oppose Uranus. Now we already know we're going through a Mercury retrograde in Scorpio, so we're really trying to figure out and really get to the bottom of things and really understand things, and we're re-looking at things, reanalyzing things. And with the opposition to Uranus and Taurus, it's like, this is kind of like, I always look at it as like the kind of like the abrupt change you want to make, but I feel like it brings that up because it's like the energy is going to be the change that you want to make for the better. So even on the collective level, you may see like in the world, like, you know, something kind of shift. I look at this as like the shift. Like Uranus is kind of like, you know, like the shift, the awakener. So it's like, it's going to be this energy of like wanting to make a change for the better, like just this disruptive shift of wanting to basically change things for the better. But I feel like the only thing to really keep in mind is not to blindly just try so hard to just make this shift because it could backfire. It's like, be open to, you know, creating a routine, creating structure, you know, really looking at things and not trying to force things so hard, but kind of let things come to you. We're already in a Mercury retrograde, so it's like by even trying to force things, there can be miscommunications or just mishaps. So it's like, even before doing this video, like my camera was like, or the audio wasn't even connected. So it's like, I do feel like there's good energy here, but there's also a lot of challenging energy to not, you know, go full force into something, especially if it feels like the opportunity is just like not fully presenting itself. You know what I mean? It's almost like it's so challenging. Like trying to force it right now would just be something that kind of ends up, like I said, backfiring. I'm not trying to sound redundant, but just trying to drive the message home. But yeah, so that's what I kind of got for today and tomorrow. And I'll talk more about coming up with, you know, Venus is going to square the nodes. Moon's going to come into Capricorn with Jupiter, Pluto, Saturn. So it's going to be like really hard emotional choices to make, you know, going through Pluto, making a change, going through Saturn, having to make the tough choice to create, to create what it is that you want. Jupiter, you know, you're gonna emotionally, the opportunity will feel there, but it takes like a lot of how do I say it? A lot of hard kind of decisions, or like kind of can feel a little harsh. So anyways, I'll talk to y'all in the next video. I like being on my couch. I'm doing these horoscopes, and for the ones who watch it and you guys appreciate it, I appreciate y'all. But I'm really doing it because it is a time in the world where people are struggling, and it's like, you know, like it is a really hard time that we're all going through all this, you know. So it's like, you know, if I can bring kind of like what I understand and what I look at and the tools I use to give people perspective, so that way, you know, people don't go stir crazy and stuff, or, you know, make bad decisions, like, then that's what I want to do to help y'all. But that's all I got for today. But otherwise than that, y'all, I'll talk to y'all in the next video. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys, and I'll talk to y'all later.